Hello everyone, you're watching Awaz News. I'm Kubra Ali and I'll be taking you through top news across Canada. Used clothing store in Toronto's West End briefly evacuated after grenade found inside, police. Metrolink CEO apologizes for Eglinton crosstown, delays says still no date set to open LRT. Man in hospital following overnight shooting at Scarborough Tow Yard. 2 Ontario men charged after allegedly producing recruitment videos for listed terrorist entity. Woman dead following reported altercation at group home in East Gwillimbury. Toronto in for mild but messy weekend, weather after first blast of winter. Brampton takes bold steps to end violence against women. These were the headlines. Now let's jump right into the details. A woman is dead following reported altercation at a group home north of Toronto on Thursday. York Region Police said they were called to a group of home on David Drive in East Gwillimbury on Thursday just before 10 p.m. after receiving reports of an assault. Responding officers found a woman without vital signs. She was pronounced dead upon transport to a hospital. Police said the incident appears to be isolated and that there is no threat to public safety. The cause of death remains unknown, they said. A post-mortem examination is expected to take place in the coming days. Anyone with the information is asked to call 1-866-876-5423 extension 7865 or email homicide@yrp.ca. In a powerful move, the city of Brampton reaffirms its commitment to combating gender-based violence, particularly on the National Day of Remembrance and Action on Violence Against Women. Councillor Santos, seconded by Councillor Brar, spearheads a motion at the recent council meeting to extend gender-based analysis plus GBA plus training to all staff and committees. The motion is not merely symbolic, it reflects Brampton's proactive approach to fostering inclusivity and understanding. GBA Plus is an analytical tool aimed at developing responsive and inclusive policies considering factors beyond gender such as age, disability, ethnicity, and more. Santos emphasizes that education, particularly GBA Plus training, is fundamental in the quest to end violence against women. Having completed the course herself, Santos appreciates its eye-opening nature and expresses gratitude for the unanimous support from her colleagues. This training is seen as catalyst for individual and collective transformation towards gender equality, aligning with the United Nations recommendations on gender equality training. Brampton's history of addressing gender-based violence is commendable. In 2019, the City Council directed staff to collaborate with programs at the region of Peel dedicated to aiding those affected by domestic violence. Since 2020, the city has actively participated in initiatives like the Break the Silence campaign, targeting survivors, bystanders, and the general public with materials translated into multiple languages. The year 2023 marked a significant declaration by the Brampton City Council unanimously acknowledging gender-based violence as an epidemic in the city. Advocacy efforts intensified, leading to increased funding and support for organizations like Peel Police Intimate Partner Violence Unit. Notably, the creation of Brampton's Employee Women Empowerment Network highlights the city's dedication to empowering women in leadership roles. Looking ahead, Brampton envisions further upstream initiatives, including dedicated breastfeeding and parking spaces, the establishment of the Women's Advisory Committee, and GBA Plus training for all corporate employees, committees, and boards. These efforts underline the city's commitment to creating a future where safety, equity, and inclusion are not just ideals but lived realities for all residents. As Brampton stands united against gender-based violence, the motion brought forward by Councillor Santos emerges as a pivotal step. It signifies more than an annual campaign, it marks a perpetual commitment to change. The city envisions a future where the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence become a cornerstone of ongoing efforts to build a safer, more equitable community. In closing, Brampton reiterates its dedication to fostering a future where safety, equity, and inclusion are not just ideals but lived realities for all residents. The motion brought forward by Councillor Santos is not just a symbolic gesture, it's a pivotal step towards a community where the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence are not just an annual campaign but a perpetual commitment to change. Two men from Ontario have been arrested on charges of terrorism after allegedly producing recruitment videos for a listed terrorist organization and circulating far-right manifestos online, police say. The arrests come after an 18-month investigation conducted by the Royal Canadian Mounted Police Integrated National Security Enforcement Team, which saw warrants executed in Niagara and Toronto region. Police said in a news release on Friday that the warrants uncovered substantial evidence, including far-right manifestos circulated on Telegram as well as video, made in an effort to recruit individuals to an organization called Atomwaffen Division AWD. That organization, police say, is an international neo-Nazi terror group which has called for acts of violence against racial, religious, and ethnic groups, police, and bureaucrats to prompt the collapse of society. One of those individuals is facing 8 charges, including 3 counts of commission of hate crimes offenses for a terrorist group and 2 counts of participation in the activities of a terrorist group. The other individual was charged with 1 count of participating in the activities of a terrorist group. In 2021, AWD, an international neo-Nazi terror group originating out of the United States, was designated as a terrorist entity by the Canadian government. The RCMP said in their release that following the designation, many members of AWD joined an organization called the Canadian branch of Active Club Network. According to police, Active Club Network serves as decentralized cell of white supremacy and neo-Nazi groups. The network was created in January 2021 and it promotes mixed martial arts to fight against what it asserts in a system that is targeting the white race as well as a warrior spirit to prepare for forthcoming race war, the release states. As part of its investigation, the RCMP said members of the network alongside members of a related local group called the Hammerskins have been observed performing combat training exercises in Durham region community parks. On Friday, they released images of one such gathering. Earlier this year, the RCMP charged another Ontario man with the terror offences for the alleged creation of AWD materials. At the time, police said he was the first Canadian to be charged with terrorism related to far-right propaganda. The CEO of Metrolink remained tight-lipped about a possible opening date for the Bellygird-Eglinton Crosstown LRT, apologizing to the community for the repeated delays on the project. Speaking to reporters during a progress update on the project on Friday, Metrolink CEO Phil Worcester said it would not be sensible or responsible to provide a date at this time. I want to say unambiguously, I apologize. I apologize to the business, to the communities, to the people of Toronto for the fact that this project is late, Worcester said. The project had technical issues on it long before any of us joined the project. It was affected by COVID. None of that matters. The only thing that matters is the project is late, and we are totally dedicated and totally focused on completing the project as soon as possible. On Friday, members of the media were invited to tour Yonge Station, where the final pieces of construction are now nearing completion, Metrolink said. During the tour, engineers referred to certain testing that cannot be done when snow is on the ground, suggesting that the project is still several months away from being completed. During Friday's news conference, Worcester was pressed on why the transit agency is unwilling to provide a ballpark idea of when the project will be finished or even rule out an opening date in early 2024. I cannot see that it is sensible or responsible to declare an opening date now, but I give you and the communities an absolute commitment that once we get through the risks, defects, issues that we are seeing, finding and fixing, that we will declare a date. Construction began on the transit project in the summer of 2011 and it was originally supposed to open in 2020. When Metrolink failed to meet that target date, officials indicated that the project would be substantially complete in 2022, but CTS, the consortium building the line, missed that deadline as well. While Worcester has not committed to a date for opening the LRT, he has said Metrolink will release that information 3 months in advance. Worcester said new problems are regularly being identified, although a considerable amount of progress has made over the past year. We are going to work through the issues, he said. The software upgrades that we need to implement, they need to be comprehensive and need to give us that assurance of safe, reliable operation. A man is in hospital with non-life-threatening injuries following an overnight shooting at a Scarborough tow yard. Police say they received a call for shooting in the area of Birchman Road and St. Clair Avenue East just before 2 a.m. When officers arrived on scene, they located a man in his 30s with gunshot wounds. Medics transported the man to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The suspect allegedly fled in a white car. Anyone with additional information is asked to contact Toronto Police. A used clothing store in Toronto's West End was briefly evacuated after a grenade was reportedly found on the premises on Friday morning. Police say that officers were first dispatched to the store near Rogers Road and Peel Street just after 10 a.m. Roads in the area were blocked at that time, while members of the Toronto Police Explosive Disposal Unit attended the scene. Just before noon, police confirmed that the grenade was determined to be inert and that they were clearing the area. Toronto can expect a messy mix of warm but wet weekend weather days after its first snowfall of the season. According to Environment and Climate Change Canada (ECCC), temperatures could reach an above seasonal high of 10 Celsius in Toronto over the weekend with a mix of rain and wind in the city's forecast. On Saturday, temperatures could reach a high of 10 Celsius according to ECCC. Forecast skies and southerly wind are also expected alongside a 30% chance of precipitation. On Sunday, temperatures are expected to dip slightly, with the agency predicting a high of 6 Celsius and 30% chance of rainfall. Rain could turn into flurries as we head into the overnight Sunday. At the time of publication, ECCC forecasted a 40% chance of flurries or rain for Sunday evening. The warmer temperatures follow the city's first snowfall of the season, the approximate 3 centimeters of snow that greeted some parts of Toronto as they awoke Thursday morning melted soon after. The city said liquid brine and salt were applied to expressways and other high-traffic areas overnight to prevent frost and ice from bonding to the pavement. Plowing operations are not planned at this time due to this weekend's favorable weather forecast, the city said. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Kubra Ali. I'll see you back tomorrow, same time, same channel. Have a good night.